And now, I have started the recording again, because we are going to do one last thing before we go, and it will be, when I move it to YouTube, a separate video on its own. So for those of you watching, hi! We are going to read a book! Alright. I also love the book cover. The book cover is amazing. Flowers for Princess Fischl. Volume 1, Phantasmagoria. The dream lives on. Such words surely must appear in the midst of every tale, and they are largely the words of the Kaiserin of the Immernachtreich. This surely is not the enigma that concerns the greatest majority of readers, but we must still start here nonetheless. Osvaldo Hemenafris, the mighty lord of Nachtbraven. If Fischl's strength in battle might be considered a 10, and the beasts of the world should have the average of 15, then Osvaldo's strength may be considered 13. His great power was only on display when he destroyed the Damarung in Volume 1. That said, Nachtvarangd is itself the nemesis of the Damarung anyway. As for the feelings that Osvaldo holds towards Fischl, Mr. Nine does not believe it to be romance, but more likely a form of imprinting common to bird kindred. Editor-in-Chief's note: regardless of what the author says, dear readers, you are free to interpret the personal relationships of the characters of the Immernachtreich however you like. Aside from this, the title of Prince Nachtraben is not particularly a high-flown one, considering that the Night Ravens have always been known for being conspirators and bearers of curses. Osvaldo likely insisted on this title, for how could a mere King of the Night call himself thus before the Immernachtreich? Beast of the World. Gesamtwerk. In certain probabilities, this is the beast of the world that the Immernachtreich would be faced within this cycle. Its battle strength is around 30. In distant causality, the philosopher Zarathustra was not chosen when the opera writer would have gained victory in a contest over the will of the world. Once Gesamtwerk takes the stage, the opera theater of the apocalypse, many more beasts of the world that reside within the center of the universe will inexorably begin to appear as well. In the final volume, the weakness of the beast of the world, Saint of the Seven Tiers, whose combat strength was 10, and therefore equal to Fischl, was quite out of the ordinary, and the saint merely wept for Zarathustra at first, a choice that seems undeserving of any blame. Both Zarathustra and the musician exist to give praise unto the Prinzessin der Verurteilung. One proclaims the agony and suffers of her heart, while the other proclaims the grandeur of her travails. The Prinzessin, of course, will not favor the latter, for such things would be a shame. Sommernacht Garden. It is said that those who are highly skilled in the magical arts possess their own unique domains of consciousness. Their loves, hatreds, yearnings, jealousies, adherence, and passions of the soul will be stored here in the fictional tales of other novels. This space is called Summerland. The Sommernacht Garden of the Prinzessin is something in this vein. That this concept was never well explored in the end remains quite the pity. The suspected eternal return. Quite a few of the finer points of this tale have caused people to wonder if the Kasherin of the Immernachtreich was once experienced all that Fischl has. Fischl's father is undoubtedly not a mere shade. He is majestic and mighty, and helps Fischl to dispel her confusions. As for Fischl's mother, the Kaiserin, her actions and deeds show that her to have quite an interesting character indeed. But she will only speak one line, which is, as was noted earlier in this text, "The dream lives on." In the final volume, Fischl's mother had already faded away, and so this volume naturally did not have the preceding line. But as the universe entered the denouement, and all things within it flowed into the Immernachtreich, she spoke another line of enigmatic intent. Find meaning somewhere. The night deepens. Find meaning somewhere. The night deepens, but the dream lives on. Dear readers, I hope that you will find happiness in this world, where the sun still rises each day. Collection of questions and answers. There's a Q&A. Nice. Dear Mr. 9, may I ask what the relationship between the Celestial Emperor's daughter in The Legend of the Shattered Halberd and Fischl von Luftras Nartford is? I felt that the tragedy that unfolded toward the end of Volume 5 of The Legend of the Shattered Halberd was due to the male protagonist and the Celestial Emperor's daughter's attraction to him. As such, I wanted to write a Prinzessin der Verurteilung who had no need of a male protagonist. This was the scaffold that would come to be flowers for Princess Fischl. Eventually, though, I did write the 6 volumes of Halberd, the 6th volume of Halberd, which rescued the ending. There was probably some cross-pollination in the process of writing the 2 series at the same time, but I was personally quite pleased with the result. In the fight between Mir's dad, Khan the Ashura, and his sword, Levantine, at full strength versus Gersamerdork, who would come out on top? I originally intended to refuse to answer this question, but the editor-in-chief said that she'd axe my next manuscript if I didn't. In which case, my Mora would go to Gesamtwerk. Mr. 9, you mentioned Farewell, Frau Welt, in Farewell, Frau Welt, that you were suffering from hair loss. Are you doing better now? Could Yae Publishing House not accept this sort of question, and do people actually read what gets added in the new editions? Editor-in-Chief's note, oh, but the readers are very concerned about you, and yes, they are also very concerned with the purchase of new editions. Interesting. Well, this was fun. See you in another stream. Bye-bye.